The most painful thing I've ever done, the most painful decision I've ever had to make, the most heart-wrenching choice that's ever come across my mind was having to completely let go of what ruined my life so I can create a life. Let's go. Like diamonds, I'm watching how you glow. What's up, everybody? It's your boy AJ here, coming through your TV screen, your phone screen, your laptop screen, and beyond. How you bloody doing, mate? Choices. I've had some tough ones, some hard ones, some difficult ones, some brutal ones, some choices that make you bleed, some choices that make you hurt. But I've had lots of them. The most difficult one was having to let go of what was my anchor. That sounds deep, right? I had to let go of what was my anchor. So my anchor is walking down memory lane for a little bit. So as a kid, when I was around, recently after my father died, a lot of things happened to me. One in which I was a victim of sexual abuse. Not going too far down memory lane, that scenario has completely ruined me as a person for a very long time. Until, I think, if I'm not mistaken, my 28th birthday. Yeah, my 28th birthday. No, I'm sorry. It was my 29th birthday. I decided that the best thing for me to do in order to reach my true potential is if I let go of this pain without any type of closure. Now, wanting closure is what is making it an anchor. Trying to figure out and understand why I was the one that had to go through the trauma. There are 7 billion people on the planet. Why me? Trying to understand that was heart-wrenching. Trying to let go of it without ever having an answer to that question is even worse. There are days when I used to be so beside myself. As a kid, I used to smash my head against the wall. When I was back home in Jamaica, smash my head against the wall, so I would then trigger a migraine. So my thought process would focus on the pain rather than thinking the thoughts that are going to cause pain, if that makes sense. I used to indulge in self-abuse. I've decided at my 29th birthday, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember which one it was, but even I'm 29 now, and I can't remember. It was on that day that I decided that the only way for me to get to the place that I want to be at, for me to be the person I need to be, to have my goals and aspirations work, was for me to let go of that anchor. And I made the decision, but I didn't go through with it until the following year, as in New Year's Day, as in it was the New Year's Day resolution. I just sat there and I cried and I cried and I let myself understand that we, as in my body and my mind and my heart and my consciousness, we are all letting go of this pain. And it will not weigh us down anymore. Do I wish I had closure? Yeah. I've been asking God if He's here for answers for as long as I can remember. I've turned to talking to the sky. I've turned to talking to myself. I've tried everything. The answer never came though. And I thought to myself that it was pointless to keep trying. In that vein, I thought to myself, if it was meant to happen, as in the answer, if it was meant for me to know why I had to go through that, I'm going to know without me trying to figure it out. I try to figure it out because I don't want. There's an episode that I posted where I said it's a bad idea to live with regrets. That situation is a regrettable one. But instead of regret, I've always tried to figure out what is there to learn in that scenario. Why me? What did I do wrong to end up in that space? Still can't figure it out. So I decided that the best thing for me to do was to let it go. You know the good thing about that? It was actually a good idea. My take on life has evolved from that point. And I honestly think that the only way it could have evolved was if I had let that pain go. My perspective on life has changed. My way of processing pain has changed. My way of navigating myself to how I come about making my decisions have changed. My reason and my thought process behind me, the person, has changed. It has built me so far up as a person that I'm in a weird space now, and I mean weird in a good way. I'm in a weird space now where very few things bother me. Very few things hurt me. Very few energies can come into my space without my permission. Like, the person I've become after letting that go is the person that I've wanted to be since it happened. No, my scenario might not be anything like yours. I'm not saying it's worse than yours or better. That's not what I'm saying is you're going to have a moment that anchors you. There's a moment in your life that anchors you because there's no answers for that scenario or situation that you've been through, and it's wanting to know why is what's holding you down, dragging you down. It's a human response. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want to advise you, much like I advised myself, letting it go is going to hurt like hell. It's going to hurt. Because the human in you is going to want revenge on the world. But my phone just went off. That's just not how the way works. That's not how the world works. So rather than trying to figure out why, accepting it for what it is and letting it go would probably build you into a way better person than walking around with it as a burden on your shoulders, trying to get back what the world took from you. Again, to each his own. That route was not a bad idea either, because I've been on that road for quite some time, but you're gonna learn that it weighs you down. It drags you down. It's like sinking sand. Not quicksand, but sinking sand. It stops your growth. But it's not, I say it's not a bad idea to be on that road because it actually helps you to grieve and cope when you hold the world accountable for what you don't think you deserve. It helps you grow, or not, well, not grow. It helps you stabilize what would have otherwise been a chaotic situation. So, in that sense, in that vein, it's good because it keeps you stable, but it also weighs you down. So, it's a choice. If you want to build yourself into better than what you've been, you have to let it go. If you want to grow into the person that you've wished you was from the beginning, you gotta let it go. If you want to be the best you, a part of that involves letting it go. Forgiving, don't forget. Because remembering makes you who you are. But forgive, let it go. Even if you don't get closure, you're going to find very quickly that you don't really need it. Wanting closure is something that's controlling your behavior. And when you let it go, you're going to gain control over whatever control that scenario had over you. Let it go. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be painful. It's going to be very painful. But it's going to be worth it. So worth it. Oh, remembering the process I put myself through to let that go was was something. But it's your boy AJ. With love and grace, I'm telling you how much I love you. See the big heart? Me, this guy here, I love you. With that being said, it's your boy AJ. I'm signing out.